starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome, everybody. We want to thank you today for joining us. Today, presenting, we have Matt Barrier and myself, Jared Paris. Unfortunately, Crystal will not be joining us. So if you are looking forward to hearing from her, unfortunately, you just have me and Matt today. But I think we'll be able to cover all the topics that we're going to be discussing quite well. And what we're going to really be focusing on today's webinar is El Toro's IP targeting technology, but specifically the application in using it towards the automotive industry. So if you're looking for some good ideas in terms of strategy and use cases, we're going to be able to provide that to you and also give you a little bit of background into our technology and what we do here at El Toro.
One thing I do want to point out, if you're having any trouble hearing or seeing, on the right side, or if you have questions, there's a question bar. Just type in your question there and we'll try to answer it, or we'll definitely get to it at the end of the presentation. But if you're having any issues seeing or hearing, just type that in on the right side and we'll help you out. So we'll go ahead and get started.
All right, guys, and for those of you who may already be familiar with El Toro, and those of you who are just learning about us today, we are a company based in Louisville, Kentucky, and we are an ad tech company. What we've created is an ad tech that allows for advertisers to target based off of just the physical mailing address. It's an extremely powerful application. We've actually gotten quite a few accolades for it. We've won some awards and we've been featured in numerous articles across the web. And we're going to really discuss what sets us apart from other online digital marketing platforms and give you a little bit more insight into this technology, why it was developed, and why it's become so useful. So really to begin with, I think it helps to understand a little bit of the background in terms of the company. Originally when this technology was being developed, the ultimate goal was to be able to identify fraud that happens online. And originally we wanted to use IP targeting as a way to verify credit card transactions. As the founders of this company discovered that there is a lot of other very practical applications for this technology. And essentially what began to become is that we decided to pivot into a ad tech company focusing on marketing. And what we're able to really do is be able to target a residential household just by the physical address, and we can then determine the IP address of that home. What that allows us to do is then target and serve them with display banner ads. Now, if you really think about this concept, it's extremely similar to direct mail. We've basically taken the direct response model and we've moved it online. The only difference is it's a digital delivery and we're serving display banner ads opposed to sending an email to someone's inbox. So what this really allows for advertisers to do is, use a preset data list, whether it be from past customers, clients, CRM data, and we can then leverage that information and then target and serve them with very specific advertisements. Now, there's mainly 3 core products that we have currently available today, but we are working on developing quite a few more and should be releasing soon within a month or two. But today we're going to be covering our main product offerings, which is our household IP targeting, captive audience, which is for targeting businesses in general. We can target really any location, whether it be a college or a local business or a hotel or trade show even. The last being our digital new movers product, which essentially allows us to target all new movers within a given geography. And we're able to see in 3 different segments of new movers, and we'll discuss that a little bit later here in the presentation. To really kind of help to understand the process of what our technology does and what's different really about what we do compared to other online targeting platforms is everyone else right now uses cookie data. Cookie data is the information that's stored within your web browser. So as you're browsing throughout the web, you are getting pixeled with cookie data from each website that you go to. Now, what that means is advertisers are looking to try to figure out who you are as a person and profile you so they can serve you with ads. What's fundamentally different about our technology is that we are actually determining just the individual's home IP address and their physical address. That's it. We aren't looking to see what they're doing on the web or what they're browsing on the web. We are just trying to identify them down to the one-to-one household level to be able to serve them with your digital advertisements. What that helps us with is basically a large issue that's becoming more and more the norm online, which is ad fraud and non-human traffic and bots that exist through these ad exchanges. And Matt's going to talk a little bit more about that here shortly.
So yeah, I love these next few slides because it really gets into my background and what differentiates us from really everybody else in the whole world when it comes to digital advertising. So my background is in the domain space, and domains meaning, cars.com, website domain names. And we would, in a past life, we would go to these conferences. They were called traffic conferences or domain conferences. And there'd be hundreds of these companies out there selling traffic. And you've probably got an email saying, hey, we'll send you 100 visitors for $10. Well, the more we looked into this, the more we found that they were not sending us real human traffic. They were just sending us, they were programs. They're called robots or bots. So the thing about these bots is once they got to our website, they weren't just dying. They were coming to our site, and then they were going to other sites across the internet. So they would leave our site, they would go to homedepot.com, and then they would jump over to espn.com. And so what was happening when they would go to Home Depot, they would get cookied with a renovation cookie. And then they would go to, a recipe site or a mom site, and they would get cookied with, hey, this is a mom, or, this person's interested in cookies or cooking. And so the issue with that is all of this traffic, all these robots are getting mixed into the pool of traffic that you're bidding on when you're bidding, in Google and every single ad exchange out there. These robots are getting mixed into that pool of traffic. So when you're targeting based on a zip code, these robots, they'll go fill a contact form out. You might even have gotten a weird contact form before, but they'll hit submit. They'll put the zip code in there with a fake name or a weird phone number. Once they hit submit, they get cookied with that zip code cookie. So now when you're targeting based on a zip code, or you're in an ad exchange and you want to target based on demographics, hey, I want to target moms. You pull that drop down, you're targeting moms, but a huge part of that is that non-human traffic that's mixed into that. So we bypass all of that because of our custom integration into AppNexus. So until now, there was no real way to bid on a specific IP address at a specific physical address where we know real human activity is taking place. The next slide really gives you a nice visual to this. So this really compares the way that they do it compared to how we do it. So the cookie logic or online logic says, hey, this IP address has been to a BMW website, therefore he owns a BMW. Or, this person's going to a boat website, so he has to own a boat, which is just not true. We take the offline logic and we take either your CRM data at your dealership or your client CRM data. So we take that hard factual data. John Smith, he lives at 123 Main Street. He owns a BMW. These are facts, hard factual data. You give that to us, and we can target John Smith at 123 Main Street with a relevant ad. If it's 10 years old, his car's 10 years old, hey, this guy is due for a new car. Or for lease options, this person, he's coming up on his 2-year or 3-year lease. It's time to get a new car. So we take that data and we send those people a relevant message, a newer car, same make, same model, just a newer version with a cheaper monthly payment because of the equity they have built in that previous lease. So you can really tailor the message to a specific home. And like the slide shows, you can take the credit score, all kinds of information. They have kids, and use that to your advantage in the ad. And here, this is a great slide because it really shows you, rethink direct mail, rethink digital advertising. And to us, to me, we've coined the phrase the new digital mailbox. And to us, these banner ads at the top of most websites and on the sides of most websites, these banner ads to us, that's the new digital mailbox. And while, direct mail is great and email is great, you can't guarantee that they're going to see that email. It may go into their spam folder. They may throw that direct mail piece away. But we're talking about prime real estate here. It's very hard to get away from messaging as you go to ESPN. Boom, there's that ad for that new car. You go over to CNN.com. Boom, we have fractions of seconds to put your ad in those banner ad spots via the relationship we have with the DSP we're integrated with. So this gives a nice visual, to kind of show you, hey, this is the new digital mailbox.
Thank you, Matt. And another good point to that, just so you guys understand, and you saw the ad there on the last slide, these are all organically displayed advertisements. These aren't pop-ups. A lot of people ask us that question. Are these intrusive ads? Are they, annoying to people? No, they're going to see them organically displayed on the website. So this is not being done in any way that is nefarious. We're just simply targeting based on their IP address opposed to their cookie browsing history. Now, a portion of what makes our style of targeting so effective is that we can actually show you the results based on conversions, and we can measure the uplift that we provide in terms of an ROI for your campaign. Now, think of this in terms of direct mail. And the reason why we can show an uplift is oftentimes advertisers will pair our IP targeted ads with their direct mail piece that they're sending out to all of their past customers. And what we're able to show is we target a segment of that audience. So as an example, let's say we have 10,000 homes that are going to receive a direct mail piece. Our system will allow us to target approximately 50% of that list. So we're going to target 5,000 of those homes with display banner ads. So what that means is after the campaign is finished, and hopefully those people have gone down and purchased a new vehicle, we can actually then, looking at the sales data, match that to the original target list. Because keep in mind, we're going to be serving those ads to those homes that are receiving those direct mail pieces. So what the goal of what we're trying to look for is how much percentage of uplift did we increase the conversions by showing these display banner ads. Now, typically, we see a performance of anywhere between 50 up to 200% lift. And all that really means is since we are able to show these ads over a greater time period with more frequency, they are more likely to come down to the store and make a purchase. And this is something that we have numerous case studies on. We have done thousands of matchbacks at this point. So we have data that proves by using our IP targeting ad delivery system, you're going to see an uplift over your control group, which would be individuals who you're currently just sending direct mail to in regards to a new automobile they may be looking to purchase.
And to kind of piggyback on what Jared said, this is more into like the process of uploading a list. So when you upload a list to our system, like he gave, 10,000 addresses, usually you'll get an email the same day with our append results. So we'll put a T and an F next to every single address, and that's going to denote the homes that we have a good IP on in our system where we can verify there's a real person at this address. We put a T for true next to that address. Therefore, you're going to know, hey, that home is going to be getting these banner ads. And then the homes with Fs next to their name, for whatever reason, we just don't have enough data points to correlate that IP to home address. So we put an F for false. So again, like Jared said, you're going to know before your campaign kicks off, the homes we're sending banner ads to, they have a T next to them. And then the homes that we're not, they have an F. So like he said, the whole list is getting direct mail. The only difference is about half of them get these additional IP targeted banner ads. And that's what we're finding. These additional touches as they move throughout the internet is what's pushing them over the edge to come in and buy a car.
And just to kind of review that process, as Matt made mention too, we offer an interface that our partners can utilize, and what they can do is they can take a list, and it could be a direct mail list you've already used, and you could literally upload that same exact list into our platform. From there, we're going to analyze all the records within that list, and we're going to match them to their IP addresses that they're using. Now, typically we append at about a 50% rate, but we'll talk about the confidence level of that match. After that point, really, it's just setting up your campaign, which involves entering in your flight dates of the campaign, your ad creatives, and also your landing page. At that point, you're going to be then choosing how many impressions or how many ads you're looking to serve to each home within that segment. At that point, we're basically doing the bidding for the placements, we're looking to serve those ads now in front of all those homes that you've identified as the customers you'd like to reach. And then after that process is complete, we will perform the match back analysis as we just covered on the previous slide. Now, what's really important to understand is that when we have a match in our system, so of that 50% of that list that we match, we have 95% confidence in the data on that household. So what that means is we have a very good picture of John Smith at 123 Main Street, and we know that he uses this specific IP address. And ultimately, our goal is only to serve the ads to people who we can actually identify. What that really proves is that we can provide a very strong tool for you, and you will be able to see the results and measure the results. We want to make sure that we have the best picture of the end user we're looking to target, and we don't want to take any chances on that. Now, we spoke briefly about some of our other product offerings, and we're going to touch a little bit on captive audience, as this is something that has been beneficial for some other dealerships in the past and some agencies that have utilized our technology. But think about this, you could do a campaign targeting college students. We can take all the IP addresses within a given institution or college, and we can serve them with display banner ads as well. A lot of times when kids are first going off to school, a lot of times they're getting a new car. So that might be a good area to potentially serve a campaign to. And as you can see, there's other suggestions and other examples, such as hotels. We've done trade shows. We've targeted key venues. I think we targeted a hotel in San Francisco during last year's Super Bowl event. So, you can think of all the different applications and ways to use our technology. And that is captive audience.
So one other thing that's very effective for some of our agencies that I was very surprised to see the results come back so strong. But just an idea, I did not think it was going to work. But this agency had a client, an auto dealership, and they were targeting competitor dealership lots. So we were able to get the IPs for all the competitor dealerships within a 20-mile radius of that one store. And we were finding, and this agency helped us find, that there's a lot of people that go onto their lot. They tie into the IP, the Wi-Fi there, and they're price comparing, they're price shopping. They're looking at cars, comparing, hey, what are some other offers? How much is this car at another store? And as they're doing that, they're seeing this other dealership's ad as they browse the internet. And, they did it for auto dealership. They did it for RVs. They did it for boats. So, I mean, it's very, very effective. And again, I was very surprised with the results.
And then, of course, our digital new mover set. So what's unique about this product is that we are actually supplying the data through a partnership with a company called Averick Direct. So what Averick Direct does is they actually already collect data on all new movers across the United States. And they are able to collect data on people who have listed their homes for sale or have recently sold their home and it's going through escrow. And they're also looking for post movers, so people who have recently changed their address and they've relocated. What they're doing is they're identifying all these individuals, and they are able to provide us with those physical home addresses. So we're essentially just taking that data, we're uploading it into our platform, and now we've created a targetable audience for you. All you have to do is go into our system, choose which segment you'd like to target, and then choose the geography. So you can go down to a single zip code, or you can go up to a state level and target all the new movers within a given area. So this could be useful for post movers. I would imagine might be an option for a lot of dealerships. There is some correlation to people when they're in the midst of purchasing a new home. They may be looking to make some other upgrades. So just giving you guys some ideas in terms of strategies. Obviously, Matt gave you a good one just a minute ago, and we're going to dive a little bit more into that in just a second. So now the CRM strategy, to us, we think this is a very common sense method. This is probably the easiest one to really do because all the dealerships already have a robust CRM data on all of their past customers. Now, types of campaigns that we've seen executed in the past are things as simple as, renewing leases. They have the information on when those vehicles are going to be expiring their lease, so then they can ramp up and serve them with not only that direct mail piece that they're going to send, but also an additional week or 2 weeks of IP targeted ads. And what we're able to do is really push them to come down, trade in their old vehicle, and upgrade to a newer one. So really, it's about taking the data that they have and applying it in a logical manner that we can actually create new opportunities in terms of their customers. Typically speaking, most companies are going to make 80% of their profit from 20% of their clientele. So it's really important to re-engage with those existing customers. Now, we of course have other strategies for prospecting customers, but that one is one of the, I would say, entry-level options to do, and it's quite simple to set up. And of course, we can assist you with that.
And just something else very quickly, think outside of the box with this technology. I mean, tell a story around your campaign. Very effective campaigns, they don't just, send an email out and not connect it, with the same theming and colors with the direct mail piece. So do the same thing, and even, 7 days before an in-home date of your direct mail, start to send ads to those specific homes that warm them up to the idea of getting that direct mail piece. So very effective campaigns have said, hey, be on the lookout for a special offer in the mail. Just kind of as they browse the internet, they're seeing that ad. So then once they get that physical mail piece in their hand, it's going to resonate a whole lot more. And then even after that in-home date of the direct mail, switch that digital banner ad up to more of a reminder ad. So we're it's that multi-channel marketing approach and tying everything in together. So after that direct mail piece hits, you might send digital banner ads that say, don't forget to bring your car in, or your oil change is running 2 months over. Get into the shop. Just reminder ads have been very, very effective. So tell a story around that in-home date.
Yeah, and that's very important to keep in mind, because essentially what you're doing is you're creating your strategy based on the data, and that's what's most important. Is you're leveraging the data that you have, and you could create a specific message to a family unit that has a credit score of X. They have their older vehicle is a minivan. You can really start to create a portrait of what that ad message would look like and what would speak most to that individual. So it's really important to understand what you can do with the information on hand. Now, on the flip side of that, when we're talking about acquiring new customers, what we recommend is to work through data providers, and what you're probably already doing with some of these dealerships is they have data providers who give them leads, or they give them some form of purchase history data from other dealerships, etc. So what you can do is you can literally create that perfect customer for a specific vehicle. Let's take, for example, the Jeep on the right-hand corner here. Think about this. You could go out and purchase a list of data based on someone's age, how much money they earn, their credit score, and even if they like to do outdoor activities. And all of this is based off of real life purchase history. So we can really create and identify a customer based off of that offline data, and then using El Toro's IP targeting technology, serving a relevant ad message to that individual. So you really want to utilize all that information to create the most compelling ad to really get them to come down to the store and make a purchase. So here's some examples that we've compiled, and this is based off of some campaigns that we've seen in the past. There's obviously types of campaigns you can run outside of just selling a new vehicle. You can do service offers. So if someone needs to come down and get an oil change or upgrade their tires or etc. I mean, really the list is endless. There's the warranty. Reminders for warranty expirations. A lot of people, when they come down, they might not, purchase that additional warranty. So you can always send up follow-up ads to that segment of past clients who haven't purchased their warranty. Seasonal offers, that's obviously a large one. We always have really, really great results in doing seasonal offers around big holidays, large retail events, anything that will help to drive the foot traffic down to your store. We can leverage that information and then target and serve those individuals and make sure we're hitting the right people, because ultimately we want to make sure that we're putting the ads in front of the right individuals who are going to come down to your locations and make a purchase.
So that's pretty much it for the webinar. I do have a couple links to some resources that a lot of our clients have found very helpful. One of them being Moat, so MOAT.com. And this is just a site you can go to, and you can type in different, dealerships, different brands, and you can get an idea of the type of ads they're running. So this could, spur that creativity, just kind of browsing through, if you and your team are doing some brainstorming, just type in literally any company, any dealership, and this Moat.com will show all the different types of ads that for example, Ford is running right now. Unbounce.com. This is a great tool for split testing landing pages. So if you have two different landing pages, it's a very helpful tool to see, hey, which ones are converting the best, and they give a lot of insight into kind of guiding you to the best landing page possible. When you are a client of ours, you will have access to this reseller kit. We have everything from case studies, sales material, continuing education. We have, printouts that you can put your logo on. We have, matchbacks that we have done in the auto space, for example, that really show you how that matchback works. And, here's one right here. It shows you the target group and the control group. Let's see if we can get a little better matchback. But again, there's tons of them in here. You'll have access to show you exactly what you can expect through, the matchback process. For here example, there was a total of 29,000 people that were being marketed to. And here you see the target group here was 9,000 people. So we were targeting 9,000 people out of 29,000 with digital banner ads. And then here's the control group that did not get banner ads. So there are 20,000 that did not get banner ads, 9,000 did. The whole group got direct mail. And this just shows you, hey, out of the 9,000 that we targeted, there were 19 conversions. Out of the 20,000 that only got direct mail, there were only 16 conversions. So as you can see here, the power of just that multi-channel approach, additional touches, showed a 160% improvement. And then lastly here, Spider.io. This is actually a blog that Google acquired and is managing. And if you click the blog section over here, it really dives in deep to the problem with robots on the internet. I mean, it gives an in-depth analysis of how these programs are impersonating real website visitors. The sharing of cookies. And again, this is just, you could spend, an hour a day on this and really be just more educated than I'd say 99% of the people out there right now doing digital advertising. So if nothing else, highly recommend Spider.io. Again, selling fake traffic through the ad exchanges. I mean, it gives a ton of information on that. And that pretty much concludes the webinar. Again, there's a section here for questions. So if you do have questions, please type them in on the right side, and we will definitely answer any questions you all have. So,
yeah, that's a great point. At this juncture, we really just like to answer any specific questions about the technology, any strategies that you may want to discuss if you have an idea in terms of how to use this technology in terms of application. We try to give you an overview of what's been done in the past and what's been successful, but really it boils down to your own strategies and your own marketing methods. Really, we're always finding that when you take this technology and you figure out new ways to reach out to those customers, you're going to find the most responsiveness from that. We can give you the ones that make sense, but if you have any questions or you want to ask about any specific strategies that you may be thinking about, we'd love to talk about it.
So Joe has a question here. Where do the ads show and how fast do they show? So basically, if you remember, since we're targeting the IP address, we're integrated with the ad exchanges. So when that IP address comes online, we get alerted. It's a pop-up. Hey, John, at this IP address is online. We see that in real time. When he goes to, again, ESPN, for example, we see that in real time, and we have literally fractions of seconds to get your ad in front of John as he's going to ESPN. And if you go to most websites, you'll kind of see the content will load first, and then the ad will load, fractions of a second later. So what's going on there? There's a huge bidding process, an auction going on the back end of the internet. And there's all kinds of people bidding for that ad spot. And since we know, that IP address is who we want to target, we can leverage that and typically win the majority of bids out there since we're bidding on a specific IP address. So to answer your question, it shows up real time, and any website that person goes to at that house, it doesn't matter if they're at CNN or weather.com. If there's ad space on that website, we have the ability to put your ad in front of that person at that house.
We have a question from Cassie, and she's asking more about the New Mover data source. And once again, I'll kind of plug them here. The company is Averick Direct, and you can visit them at averickdirect.com. They have a list of all of their data segments and how they acquire that data. But just to give you an idea in terms of the source and how they're acquiring the data, and this is just off the top of my head, they're looking for certain things like change of addresses for subscriptions for magazines. They're looking at home listings for homes that were put on the market through newspapers, magazines, online. They have multiple channels, and they've been doing this for, I believe, over 30 years. They own 2 data companies, and I believe they also own Home Data. So you can actually go to their site and get a lot of that information in terms of how they are accumulating that New Mover data. And you'll probably find a lot better answers there. But to just give you a general idea, that's some of the sources that they're gathering that from.
And they are the leader, correct? I mean,
yeah,
they provide that data to other data companies.
They're in the business of harvesting all that data and that information. And what they do is they resell that and license that to a lot of larger data providers, some that you probably would be familiar with if you heard them by name. So they've been in the business for a long time. And part of the reason why we chose them is because of their integrity within that realm. They're considered the leaders in New Mover data. So anyone, if you have any questions at all, we'll be here to answer those. We'd definitely like to discuss any strategies or anything that comes to mind. So if you guys would like to, you can answer a question here, and we'll be around to answer it.
And if anything comes up afterwards, feel free to email either Jared, it's just Jared, Jared, at El Toro, or Matt, Matt, at El Toro. If you want a copy of this webinar, we're recording it. We're going to put it on YouTube. So if you'd like a copy of this, please just let us know and we'll send the link to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And just keep in mind, we're here to answer any questions you have now or in the future. And we can certainly walk you through more specific, in-depth information that you may have, because I know sometimes when you hear all this all at once, it can be a little bit overwhelming. So if there's anything that just stuck out to you or you needed to get a better understanding for anything, we can certainly just have a sidebar and communicate either through email or through a phone call. All right, guys. Well, I think we are all set for today. We're going to go ahead and conclude today's webinar. We want to thank you all for joining us today. And of course, once again, if you have any questions, you can reach out to myself or Matt here at El Toro, and we'd be more than happy to assist you with any of your questions in regards to our technology.